It was a typical Tuesday morning when I received the first call. My phone rang as I was sipping my coffee and scrolling through the news. A voicemail popped up, and I played it. The message was from the HOA president, Linda, notifying me that I had unpaid fines for my truck being parked in front of my house on several occasions. According to her, the fines had accumulated to the point where they were now taking action, and a tow truck was scheduled for the afternoon. I paused. What in the world was she talking about? I knew I had parked there, but I was always careful about parking within the rules. And unpaid fines? There were none. This had to be a mistake, or worse, an overreach. As the police chief, I was well versed in dealing with authority gone rogue, especially when it involved overstepping legal boundaries. HOA rules are one thing, but taking someone's property based on a fabricated claim? That wasn't just annoying, it was illegal. I called Linda back immediately. Linda, I said, keeping my voice calm, I received your message about towing my truck, but I don't have any unpaid fines, nor was I ever notified about this. Can you explain? She hesitated. Oh, it's in the records, she replied dismissively. You've had several parking violations, and you were supposed to pay the fines by last month. We've sent notices. Several times. Linda, I said firmly, I haven't received any notices, and I've always paid my dues. If there's a misunderstanding, I need to see the records. There was silence on the other end before she snapped. Well, it's too late now. We've already scheduled the tow, and if you don't pay, we'll be filing additional fees. It's not personal, but the rules are the rules. I felt a knot in my stomach. She wasn't just being petty. She was trying to intimidate me. I took a deep breath. I wasn't just any resident. I was the police chief. This was my neighborhood, and I knew exactly what legal boundaries the HOA was crossing. I hung up the phone and immediately took action. First, I checked my records with the city. No fines. No violations. It seemed Linda was acting on her own agenda. I then made a few calls to City Hall and confirmed that no official paperwork had been filed for any parking violations related to my truck. Everything was clear. It was time to deal with this face-to-face. That afternoon, I went to the HOA office. As I walked in, Linda greeted me with a somewhat surprised expression. She probably didn't expect me to show up. I didn't waste time with pleasantries. Linda, I said, showing her the documents I had gathered, these are the official records showing that I have no unpaid fines or violations. You cannot tow my vehicle without cause. You've made a mistake, and I want to resolve this now. Her face turned pale. But the board said, I don't care what the board said, I interrupted. You violated the law by taking action without the proper notification or verification. The law requires due process, and you ignored it. You've also threatened my property without cause. Linda flustered, trying to come up with an excuse. But I wasn't letting her off the hook. I am the police chief of this city, I continued, my tone firm, and I've got more than enough evidence to hold you and the HOA accountable for your actions. If you proceed with this, I'll make sure it's taken to court. Her face went red with frustration, but I could tell the wheels were turning in her head. She knew I wasn't bluffing. She looked down at the paperwork in my hands and sighed. I'll speak to the board, she muttered. We'll reconsider the towing. I'll expect a full apology, I said, and I want a written statement saying the fines were dropped. By the end of the day, Linda sent me an email apologizing for the mistake and confirming that the towing had been canceled. The next day, I received an official letter from the HOA acknowledging the error and assuring me that no further action would be taken. I knew the situation wasn't over, though. I still had to keep an eye on the HOA. This wasn't just about one petty mistake. It was about ensuring that no one in the neighborhood could be treated like this again. I wasn't going to let them get away with pushing their power around. But for now, my truck was safe, my reputation was intact, and the HOA knew better than to try anything like that again. They had learned a valuable lesson. Don't mess with someone who knows the law inside and out, and don't ever underestimate the police chief who lives right next door.